Almost every week we get calls from someone who's under investigation for fraud, and they're calling us trying to find out what to do. Hopefully, in the best case scenario, they call us before they've done anything. If they've talked to the agents, if they've given documents, if they've done anything like that, it's very, very hard to undo that. Also, if they've talked to agents, we don't know what the agents heard or what they wrote down. And therefore, it's always best to call a lawyer immediately. And not just any lawyer. There are lots of very good lawyers out there. There are lots of very good corporate lawyers out there. But when the issue is one of fraud, you need a white-collar defense attorney, hopefully one who's experienced and has been through this before. We've been through this before. What we like to do is we like to get the potential client into the office as soon as possible and sit down and talk to them about exactly what happened, what they know, what they don't know. Sometimes they know virtually nothing. They've just been visited by an FBI agent. The FBI agent talks to them about some fraud that's going on in their company or something of that nature, and they have no idea. Other times, unfortunately, they are in the midst of a very major fraud that they've been involved in for several years. And it looks like things are about to blow up in their face. Either way, there are things we can do to sort of mitigate the problems and figure out what's going to happen, if anything. If there is no fraud, and if we can get involved and we can show the government that there's no fraud, the case will likely go away. If there is fraud and we can show the government that our client was not involved in that fraud, our client is unlikely to be indicted. If there is fraud and our client was the perpetrator of the fraud, there's a lot that can be done to mitigate his guilt or the punishment that will be imposed upon him. Sometimes we've been successful in completely eliminating the case, even though the client may have engaged in significant fraud. So what we do when we talk to the client is we give them the basic rule we always give clients. Don't talk to the government, don't talk to the FBI, don't talk to the prosecutors, don't talk to anybody about this event. The more you talk, the more the client talks, the more problems are likely to arise. Secondly, we need to know exactly what's happening. If the client's guilty, we need to know that. If the client's may be guilty, we need to know that. But what we need to know is all of the facts involved in the case, who all the people are who might be involved. And that gives us some opportunity to start talking to the government. Occasionally, or perhaps frequently, I would say that clients end up talking to the government, but they do that in our presence in what's called a proffer session. A proffer session is a form of immunity the government gives the client so long as the client doesn't lie. And quite often that's the right thing to do, but we don't like to do that until we understand exactly what's going on in the case. So we do our own independent investigation. We may talk to the client 4 or 5 or 6 times during the course of that investigation to figure out exactly what's happening. Only when we understand what's happening can we go to the next step. But as far as the client's concerned, complete honesty with us, and don't talk to anybody else about anything. Certainly don't lie to anybody else about anything, especially the government.